Hello guys and welcome to another episode of Fresh Off the Shelves. I feel like it's been a while since I did an episode of Fresh Off the Shelves and I'm so happy to be back doing one. If you're new here, Fresh Off the Shelves is basically a mini series that I do on my channel where I dedicate a whole reading vlog to a new release that has come out and we read it together. You get to know all my in-depth thoughts and everything throughout reading it, and I'm so excited for today's new release. It's actually one that I just picked up. I literally just went to the works to go get it. We have a new Freida McFadden. This is called The Intruder, and this one from the works has sprayed edges which say, "What is she hiding?" And all I really know about this one is that it's kind of like a survive the night type thriller, I think. From what I read in the summary online, that's the kind of vibe that I was getting from it. So I don't know whether it like all takes place over one night. It kind of gives me the impression that it does. Very intrigued by this. I think there's like some sort of storm as well. So I think it's going to be the perfect little autumn fall read, hopefully. Yeah, so I think she's stuck in like a cabin in the storm, in the wilderness, basically in the middle of nowhere. And she essentially has to survive the night because there's this young girl that comes with some dark secrets. That's basically all I know about this one. Kind of going into it not really knowing that much, which I quite like. And I feel like I've been in a really big reading slump as well, and I feel like I'm only just coming out of it, so I think that this will be the perfect thing, hopefully, to keep me going with my reading. To actually like make me in the mood to read, if you get what I mean. And also it's actually quite short. It's only like just over 300 pages, so I think it should be quite a short, fast-paced, hopefully bingeable kind of read. That's exactly the mood that I'm in right now, so hoping this is going to be the perfect thing. And obviously I will keep you updated with my thoughts and everything throughout reading this, and I'm hoping it's going to be a good one. I have a good feeling about it. Fingers crossed. I swear Freida always has the most insane first lines. Like, they're just unhinged. This one is: there is at least a 50% chance that in the next 24 hours the roof of the cabin I'm renting will collapse and kill me. Straight in there, slightly unhinged. I feel like all of her books have that. Over 50 pages of The Intruder, and thoughts so far. Okay, initial thoughts. We basically have two points of views. We have Casey, and she's in the present day, and she's essentially stuck in this cabin kind of in the middle of nowhere, and there's a big storm on its way, and it kind of starts off with her worried about her roof falling in, and she basically sees a face out of her window and she's kind of really creeped out by it, as you would be. And then we follow Ella, and Ella is in like a past timeline. It just says before, but before what, we don't know yet. And she's basically a girl at school. That's kind of all we really know about her, other than kind of like her living situation and how she's getting on at school and stuff. But we have no idea how these two timelines or people are meeting. Like at the minute they seem so separate from each other, so that's definitely going to be interesting to see timeline wise how they connect. As for the actual plot, I feel like I'm not actually in the plot yet. Which I think is kind of rare for Freida. I know we are already 50 pages in, but I do feel like around about now we usually know what's going on, like we know the plot. And I think I've caught on to a bit of the plot, but I don't really know. I don't know what's going to come. I don't know what's going to happen. It definitely does make me want to keep reading, but I will say that it is a little bit on the slower side, just for my experience with other Freida McFadden books. It's one of those books that, because it's so easy to read, it's so quick to get through, but the actual plot itself is a little bit on the slower side for the kind of setup of the plot, if that makes sense. I feel like that's the only kind of update that I have right now, just because I don't really have any other thoughts on it because I don't know the plot and the story yet. But I'm definitely very intrigued by these two individuals and kind of how they're gonna connect. Definitely very intrigued by that. I'm on page 184, which is chapter 37 of The Intruder, and I feel like I don't actually have that much to actually update you on. I'm enjoying it, but it is kind of a little bit on the slow side for a Freida. I feel like, I don't know if that's partly just the kind of mood that I'm in with reading it in general at the minute, but it is definitely very easy to read. Like, I'm getting through it so quickly, but I feel like the actual plot, we have a lot of questions, but the pace of it, we don't feel like we're moving forward very quickly. That's kind of the best way I can explain it. I'm still enjoying it though, so it's not like really slow. It just maybe doesn't have as much going on as some of her other books. I also think that the atmosphere could have been really, really creepy and like that on edge, and we're stuck in this cabin with this kind of scary, creepy girl who we don't know why she's there. We don't know how she even found the cabin. We don't know what she was doing in the middle of the woods covered in blood. And we're trapped in the cabin with her, and I feel like that whole setup could have been very creepy and had that kind of on the edge of your seat kind of feeling, and it doesn't quite have that, and I don't know why. But it doesn't. It's definitely giving like autumn kind of vibes, and I see why she's released it now, just because they're stuck in the middle of the woods in this cabin in this big storm that's happening. But at the same time, I wish it was a little bit more thriller. I wish there was more thrill in the thriller. I am very intrigued to kind of see what the plot twists are going to be. I feel like that really makes or breaks a kind of Freida book. I think I know why the girl is there. I think I have caught on to that quite quickly, if that is the case. We will see. But I feel like Freida always has some really big, unexpected twist after the twist. So I would be intrigued to see kind of what that was like. But right now we haven't even really had a twist of any sort. But I'm kind of expecting in the next 50 or so pages that there could be a twist. Finished reading The Intruder, and no words, no thoughts. I'm kind of underwhelmed in all honesty, and it makes me so sad to say this because I feel like Freida's new releases for me have just not been hitting the way some of her other books have for me, and it makes me so sad to say. There were quite a few plot twists in here, but I was just kind of underwhelmed by them. Some of them I kind of had caught on quite early on of what was going on, so they became kind of obvious to me. And then the plot twist that I didn't guess kind of felt like a bit of a cop-out because I never could have guessed them, if that makes sense. Like, it's one of those plot twists that just kind of comes out of nowhere and you're just like, oh, okay, like I can never work that out, but okay. And I was kind of hoping for more from the kind of atmosphere of this one. I thought it was gonna have the kind of vibe of maybe like Never Lie, where it felt very creepy and like they were stuck in the snowstorm. This one was just like a hurricane storm, but in Never Lie they were stuck in a snowstorm and it was all very creepy. Like, you really got the impression that they couldn't escape and it had you on the edge of your seat, and I was kind of hoping for a similar vibe with this one, and especially given like the circumstances that our main character is in, with this young girl who's arrived covered in blood. She's very clearly up to something. She's got some creepy things in her backpack. Like, you'd think that it would be creepier than it actually was. I just wasn't getting that kind of on the edge of my seat kind of feeling. And I feel like that feeling also goes hand in hand with like not being able to put the book down and wanting to get back to reading. I will say that the actual writing was very quick to get through, but I feel like the plot wasn't as gripping as maybe some of her others. For me, out of all the Freida McFadden books that I have read, I'd say that this one sits kind of in the middle, a middle of the range Freida book. It's definitely one that I would still recommend if you're interested in the plot of this one, but it's definitely not one of my favourite Freida McFadden books. I'm still glad that I read it, but I did end up rating it 3 stars, so kind of like middle of the road. Good if you need something very easy to read, and if you like Freida's books anyway, I would still recommend trying it out because you might absolutely love it. But they're kind of my final thoughts. A little bit underwhelmed, all in all, it was quick to read. The writing I feel like is exactly what I needed at the minute, just because of the reading slump that I've been in. So in that aspect it was very quick to read, but I just wanted more from it. I wanted more kind of creepy atmosphere, and I wanted more of a shocking twist. And if it had those two things, I think I would have absolutely loved this. So that's all. That's my thoughts. I'm starting to wonder if I've actually read too many Freida books to the point where they're just not hitting anymore. But I don't know if it's just more so her newer releases that I've had that experience with, because I've recently read Do Not Disturb and The Perfect Son, and they're not like her old books, not like Brain Damage and those kind of books, but they aren't her new releases and they are a bit older, and I really enjoyed both of those books. So I don't know whether it is a me and Freida thing or if it's just her new releases, I don't know. But I'm kind of sad that I didn't love this as much as I thought I was going to, because I did have a good feeling about it. But all in all, I am glad that I read it. And yeah, I really hope that you've enjoyed watching this episode of Fresh Off the Shelves. Please let me know if you did. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video.